Good afternoon. My name is Emilio Carranza. I developed the PAAL blueprint through my 35 years of problem solving, working in automation, reporting systems, as project manager. So this is developed through thinking through processes and projects and time. So the webinar is going to be about an hour. And you came here to learn about the PAAL blueprint and the framework. And at the end, what I really focus is on taking action. So I'm going to go over a stuck point today, which will take me about 20 minutes or so. So for the rest of the hour, I'm going to show you how to get access to the PAAL workbook. So you have access to all the functionality and what PAAL is all about. And you could actually start working on developing your own plan soon after I finish the seminar here right now. So I'm going to start the webinar, again, 10-20 minutes. Then I'll show you the next step of how to get access to the workbook. Okay? So PAAL is a practical, repeatable execution system or framework that helps an individual turn a vague "I want more out of life" into a steady, measurable progress. The acronym is as follows. P, you plan a clear outcome. A, align the key areas of your life, like your career, relationship, health, growth, etc. So you're not winning in one area while losing in another. A, define achievements as concrete milestones. The next A is to take consistent action that actually moves your needle. And L, keep a log to reflect, learn, and adjust before you drift off course. The result is less overwhelm, more focus, and a simple loop you can run weekly, so your purpose isn't just something you think about. It becomes something you actually execute. Today, it's going to be practical. We're going to go over one real stuck point and turn it into a finishable 2-week plan you can actually execute. It's now about motivation. It's about structure. And by the end, you're going to know exactly what you're going to do as your first action in the next 24 to 48 hours. You're also, again, as I mentioned, you'll get a template, and you'll get this example that I'll send to you as well. People don't fail because they don't want it badly enough. They fail because they don't have a structure that creates follow-through. Your motivation fades. Life gets in the way. A loop is what's going to carry you. PAAL is that loop. So here's the 5 parts of PAAL. P, the plan. Your 2-week commitment, as we'll go through today. Areas of your life. So these are these boundaries that you're going to use for your plan. Because the more boundaries you give, sometimes it becomes too big. Achievements are the outcomes you're going to receive from your actions that will complete your plan. And the actions are the tasks or the things that you will do to accomplish your achievements to complete your plan. And log is the loop. Log is where you're going to go over what went well, what held you back, what did you learn, and what are you going to do next. Okay, that's that loop. And we'll go through. So today we're going to talk about the stuck point of, I hear most commonly right now, especially in the environment we're in right now. I want to change careers, but I don't know what to do first. So again, I'm going to go through this through PAAL. Instead of thinking broad, we're going to focus on something that we could actually get done in the next 2 weeks. So let's talk about plan, the P. Plan is where you decide what you're actually aiming at and why it matters. It turns "I want a better life" or "I want to change my career" into a clear target with boundaries, showing what success looks like, what you're willing to do or not willing to do, what the time frame is, and what is the first measurable win you'll get. A good plan is simple enough to remember, specific enough to act on, and honest about your current reality, that you can actually get it done. A plan is not life transformation. A plan is a finishable commitment you can complete in 2 weeks. A good plan is time bound. It has a clear definition of what is done and has a realistic scope. Usually if it's too big, it dies. So today's example, instead of changing our career, I want to change, I don't know what to do, we're going to call this plan career change jumpstart. Get us started and go in that direction. We're going to give ourselves a 2-week window. So we'll start tomorrow, the 29th, and get this done by February 12th. Again, that's our time frame. If we get it done sooner, better, right? That proves that we're actioning our steps. And what does done mean for completing this plan? Well, let's have 5 informational interviews and write a 1-page summary of what I've learned, and then start coming up with the next 30-day plan, right? So again, you're taking chunks, smaller chunks that are actionable that you could do, that start moving you in direction. So again, I'm not promising a new career. I'm promising you a credible direction. So let's talk about areas. Areas mean you stop treating life like one bucket and start managing it like a system. You identify the key parts of your life that must be aligned, like your career, finances, health, relationship, spirituality, etc. So progress in one area doesn't silently break another. This is where balance becomes practical. You pick which area needs attention now, define what healthy looks like in that area, and prevent the classic trap of successful on paper but miserable in practice. Talk, but don't do. Areas stop your plan from leaking into everything and turning into an overwhelming situation. That's why we want to focus in areas. So I'm going to pick one primary area and have a secondary as support. Okay, so in this example, we're going to use career. So again, we want to change our career, but we don't know where to start. So our area of our life that we're focused is our career. And secondarily, what will assist us is personal growth, or we're going to gain confidence as going through this process of this plan, because we'll be communicating with people and getting notes and have those interview processes, which will assist our skill building. So why does this fit? Because the plan is about the career direction, and the confidence is about that follow through that you're building, which is the skill, the confidence you're building. Okay, let's talk about achievements. Achievements are the milestones that prove you're moving forward. They translate your plan into outcomes you could point to. Completed certifications, improved health metrics, paid off debt, shift projects, whatever matters on that path. Achievements keep you motivated because they create evidence of progress. And they keep you focused because they force you to define what done means. Achievements are the outcomes, not activities. We're going to pick 2 for this example. Each needs a definition of done. So actions are what you do. Achievements are what you're going to get. So in this example, there's 2 achievements we'll focus on. First one, which we'll start with, is to book and complete the 5 informational interviews. What does done mean? To have completed the 5 interviews and capture the notes on those. Once we complete that achievement, we'll go to the next one, which is to create the 1-page summary. So synthesize into a career direction decision, right? Get those in, put them together, come up with the top 3 patterns, what career patterns you're looking at, what couple roles you're looking at based on those interviews, and then developing your next 30-day plan. Okay, so let's talk about actions. Actions are the daily and weekly moves that create achievements. This is where discipline replaces mood. You decide the handful of behaviors that, if repeated, almost guarantee results. Actions should be small enough to be executable consistently, but meaningful enough to compound. and they should be scheduled like real commitments, not like when I think I should do it or when I feel like it. So the rule we're going to do is we want to do at least 3 actions get done in a week, and at least the first one get done, or the second one, within the next 24 to 48 hours, right? Again, to get that momentum going. Okay, so here are the actions that we're going to do for this plan. So first, we're going to come up with a couple roles we're interested in accessing for our career. Again, we're going to give ourselves about how long it's going to take us to do it. So about 30 minutes to get that done, right? So again, as we go through these actions, I'll explain it more. From that role, we're going to come up with a list of 20 people that we can reach out to. Friends, families, people on LinkedIn, people you know, people at work. So you're going to get a list of those 20 people. After that, you're going to write, your next action is to write a short outreach message that you'll send to the 20 people. And once that's done, of the 20 people, you're going to send an outreach message to 10 of them. And from those 10 that you send out, you're going to schedule 5 calls. Once that's done, you're going to conduct the interview for the first person and take notes, about 45 minutes. And then you do the same action for each of the other 5 people. And once that's done, you'll have enough information so you'll be able to write that 1-page summary and come up with the next 30 days, your next 30-day plan. So we'll group this into the achievements, right? So actions don't have to be equal. You put the actions that will fulfill your achievements. So for booking and completing 5 information interviews, which is the key part of completing this plan, most of our actions are within that plan because you have to communicate with people, right? So that takes more time. And once all that's done, once you get the 5 completed information interviews, you'll synthesize that into the career direction decision you're going to make in the 1-page summary and the next 30-day plan. Okay, then remember, once we get the plan going, you want to take action. So within the first 24 to 48 hours, you want to at least do 1 to 2 actions. And if you can do 3, even better, right? The faster you get these done, the more motivated you'll get, the faster you get things done, the faster the plans get accomplished, get things done. Okay, so let's talk about log. Log is your feedback loop. This is kind of very important part because this is what most people miss. You record what you did, what happened, what you learned, and what you'll change for next week or what you're going to do next. So your life becomes a more guided experiment instead of guesswork. The log builds self-awareness, shows patterns, and turns setbacks into data, making your system stronger every cycle instead of relying on willpower alone. The log is your follow-through loop. After each action, you're going to log what went well, what to win, what went bad, what was your blocker, what did you learn, your lesson, and what are you going to do next. And then, once a week, you're going to get 10 minutes out of your week, and you're going to do the same thing. What was the winner? What went well? What held you back? What did you learn? What are you going to do next week? Okay, so for this example, say our action was to send out 10 outreach messages. The win was that you sent the 10 outreach messages. What held you back? Well, maybe there's a couple people from that list that you weren't really, didn't feel like comfortable sending stuff to, and that's fine. That's something that's a learning for you. What did you learn from this action is that when you created the previous action of the script, that helped you reduce the hesitation for you sending out the messages. So that's what you learned. And then what are you doing next? Well, you already have your PAAAL set up, so you know your next thing is to schedule those 5 calls. Okay, so this is that loop that's going to start forming in your head and training in your head as you're doing an action. what's going well, what's holding me back, what am I learning, what will I learn, and what am I going to do next, right? That's why I'm such a great problem solver, because that is always looping in my mind. I've had over 30, 40 years of doing this, so that's just the constant thing that's in there, and it's always happening. Okay, so again, say we picked Friday at 4 o'clock. We're going to go through the same log. What went well? What held me back? What did I learn? What am I going to do next week? What's my plan? Did I complete my plan? Do I need to start the next plan? So here's the completed PAAAL 2-week plan for Career Jumpstart. We picked a 2-week window. What does done mean for the plan? To do 5 informational interviews and a 1-page summary and help to develop our next step. What areas do we focus in our life? We're focusing on our career, and the secondary support was our personal growth, because we're gaining confidence through this follow-through process, through the informational interviews. What achievements did we accomplish? Well, we completed the 5 informational interviews, and we completed the synthesis 1-page summary to get our patterns, our target roles, and our next 30-day plan. What actions do we do? Okay, in order to get the achievements done, we picked a couple roles. We got a list of 20 people. We drafted our message and then sent it out to 10 people. 10 of those people, we scheduled 5 interviews. We did the interviews, took notes, and then we wrote a 1-page summary, top 3 patterns, a couple targets, the next 30-day plan. And remember, once we get started with PAAAL, we're going to try to get the first action done, 1 or 2 hopefully, within the first 24 to 48 hours. And then the log loop. After we finish every action, we want to know what went well, what went bad, what did we learn, and what are we doing next. Always thinking that way. And then once a week, we're going to take 10 minutes out and do the same thing for the week. What went well, what went bad, what did we learn, and what are we doing next. As you can tell, this could be used for planning. This could be used really for anything. That's why this process has helped me in various aspects of my life. So once you start understanding what areas you need to focus on, or what area you think you need to work on, you start developing plans in that area. So that's the end of the webinar. So what I will do, we're not going to go through questions and answers right now. We could do that. You could send me emails of any questions you may have, and I could answer them for you. But overall, the key concepts is, if it starts becoming too vague, you need to refocus on the plan or your achievements. Right? Like, I'll lock that down better. If it starts getting overwhelming, it's maybe because your boundaries of areas of your life are too broad. You need to focus, maybe in like this example, we're focusing just on the career. We're not focusing on our health or on our finances. We're working on the career. If you start procrastinating, maybe because your actions are not tight enough, they're too big, or you're not using the log loop, right? While I'm doing my action, while I'm doing my plan, what's going well, what's going bad, what am I learning, what am I doing next, right? That loop's not working. That's why you're procrastinating. So next steps. So I'm going to email you a template so that you can start working on your plan starting tomorrow if you like. I'll also send you this plan, this completed plan, so you could, if you are interested in changing your career, here's a good start to start thinking about what type of career you're looking at maybe going into, and then developing the next 30-day plan. As I send you the email, if there's anything that you get stuck, or there's a different stuck point you might be interested in, you need help developing your plan. Again, we focus on a small plan, 2 to 4 week plan. You can reply back to a couple sentences what's your stuck point, and I could help develop the plan for you. And if there's anyone else you know that might be interested, or it might be useful for them, I will be developing at least a monthly webinar tackling a different stuck point um, from what I communicating with people, a common one, and go through the whole process again. So you'll just see that process over and over again. So it's not going to be rocket science. It's just a very easy approach of developing, I call it the PAAL loop in your mind, of thinking of what areas of my life I'm focused on, what plans can I get there, what achievements will help achieve my plan, what actions do I need to complete my achievements, to complete my plan, and what actions, and which will develop the loop of thinking as I'm going through the actions and through the achievements and through the plan, what's going well, what's going bad, what am I learning, what am I doing next. So here is where you will get access to the workbook. If you go to mypaal.com, it's mypaal.com. Just go there. You could put my book called The PAAL Blueprint. That is for inspiration. So if you need some inspiration to start developing plans for yourself, that's a very inspirational book. But the key here is to start actually taking action. So if you go to the resource page, you click the button resources there, it'll take you to a page where you could download the actual PAAL Blueprint workbook. And that's going to give you all the details of how I've developed the PAAL Blueprint, and it gives you templates of how to start working on your own plan. Also, I am looking for beta testers. If I would suggest you get a mentor, someone to help you. I could help you for now. Or if you know someone else that could help you start developing plans and using the PAAL Blueprint. Please, I prefer personal more, but I've also developed a AI coach that has implemented all the processes of what PAAL Blueprint's about and helps formulate the PAAL Blueprint for you using the PAAL coach. So I am looking for beta testers in there. You'll see that in the resource area as well. And I would like to thank you for your time here. I hope that this helps you start thinking about action is really the key to everything. And the PAAL Blueprint in the PAAL framework is going to hopefully help you start developing and thinking better so that you can focus on taking action, improving your life, focusing on areas of your life that's important to you, and getting things done.